Good afternoon, sir.
Ahoy. Is it afternoon?
It is, I'm late
Already?
today.
Oh, that's a depressing thought. The Northern Warrior has returned.
Hello, sir.
I'm back.
What have you broken now?
Well, fixing the gearbox, that was good content. I thought, you guys need some more content. I'll seize my engine.
It is, isn't it? It's because obviously
yeah.
the ring last year as well, that was good content.
That was good content.
Yeah.
That's not why I did it, believe me, but we have a seized V10 engine.
What was it? James Bond was a man of mystery and you're the man of misery.
I appear to be with this one. This is testing me. It's testing me more than I expect it to be tested, because this is not in the plan.
No. Right, let's get through it and we will catch you up on this actual tale of woe. So I haven't really got to say anything other than
That is not moving.
that is honestly like Matt Crozier built it.
Oh, poor Matt, he's gonna feel that.
Right in the
gonna feel
plums. Anyway, the tale is, well, you do the tale, it's your tale.
I was at the ring, destination Nurburgring, it's easy for me to say, track day a couple of weeks ago, and did about 12 laps in the morning. I was going up Kesselchen, which is a big, long hill, hard acceleration pull, and check engine light came on, which felt a bit weird. Turned it off, turned it back on again, light went out, car was fine. Did it again a few corners later, so I thought, yeah, I'm not happy with this, I'll get recovered. It's free recovery on the track day, and these engines aren't cheap, so I don't want to risk damaging an engine. Got recovered back. Matt was out there with his broken E92, which I'd been trying to help him on the Monday. He tried helping me with this. Spoke to Rick a little bit on the phone. We weren't really sure what it was. We thought it could be a flat battery because these are really susceptible to dodgy batteries, and the dash didn't have any particular errors apart from low battery. So we got Matt's battery, put it in this, bumped it off, seemed to run all right, drove for about a mile, something like that, turned round, everything was already warm from the track day, booted it in second, went to third, puff of smoke, and it stopped. And it's seized.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but at the time we didn't think that, did we?
We didn't know what
because
it was.
It wouldn't start, which is what, so basically this is the same thing as like Matt's. If you've watched earlier in a week's video, we've gone, it's worse than what we thought. The chances of a fuel pump going and then a piston falling out of the engine, what are the chances? And it was kind of the same with this, wasn't it? It was, you had an engine warning light, it misfired, and then it wouldn't start. So we thought, which led us down the battery route, thinking, oh, if the alternator's not charging, the battery's flat, they're so amp heavy to make them run, was it that? The fact that it then you bumped it, it run.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't a seized engine.
No.
Because it run.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, then it locked up. And when you dug into it, then you were like, well, now it's locked up.
Well, just jumping in on there, the oil filter, we had to cut that open if you want to have a look at that.
Yeah.
So this is what I found when I opened my oil filter. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh. I'll let Rick hold it there.
It's ready to
That actually looks like it's been sandblasted and nobody's washed the filter out, doesn't it? It's that
it
bad.
does. That is just...
You've got slightly bigger chunks in yours, haven't you?
Ouch.
Yeah. So
basically, at the minute, don't hang out with Matt or Pinder because you'll catch.
don't
engine-
go to the Nurburgring. Keep away from the Nurburgring.
You'll catch engine failure.
Yeah. The frustration with this, I bought the R8 because they're reliable. That's what everybody told me.
They are,
GT3
mate.
cars run this engine, just with a restrictor.
Yeah.
They're mega, they don't fail.
They don't.
And the oil temperature was 108, I think it was. Water temperature was normal, oil was on maximum, and it just cut out. And that's what was so frustrating, that there was no signs whatsoever. It was serviced March, give it a full service, oil change, before I took it out to the ring. This is unexpected, so I've managed to source, I've tracked all those off. I've tracked all those. I managed to source another engine from James at Push Performance, which I drove down last week, stayed at his unit. He took his old spare engine out. I took this out of mine. Had to go home for the weekend, came back Sunday night, which is why I'm unshaven, because I forgot to shave a razor. And got his engine in mind, started at 10 to 11 last night, and it runs. I've had the Golf engine in and out many times over the years. This is the next step up for me. It's a bit bigger than I'm really comfortable with. I think I said to you guys beforehand, it was a little bit daunting. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by it, if I'm quite honest. It's a lot. And chat to Vicky and went, oh yeah, this hose goes there, this goes there. I don't know where they go. I was labelling. The new engine is covered in paint, pen and dots and marks and signs. So I've got a working car. I'll get that finished tomorrow, hopefully. But I need to know why this has failed. I can't just keep driving with an engine that might do the same again. So brought it down here, as you can see. I've partially stripped it this morning. I've had to take the cam bridges off because the Gen 1s have these cutouts in the camshafts.
Yeah, so...
And when you get it at top dead centre, if you look down there, you can see the bolt, the head bolts. So you can get a spanner where my finger is, so you can loosen the head bolts and get the cylinder head off. But because it's seized, we couldn't turn the camshafts to get them to top dead centre before.
So there's the locking pins, look. So you put it to top dead centre on one, and then you can lock the two cams together. I mean, it's just so you can take the head off without stripping the cams out. So if you're doing a head gasket, for example, you do that. Obviously, it puts the valves at risk because some of them are going to be open, but the Gen 2s and Hurricanes, you can't do that. They're not pressed tube steel. The camshaft makeup is different. So you have to take the cams out. But in this, like you said, because it was seized, we couldn't turn it to lock the cams in the right position, so we've had to take them out.
Yeah. So apart from stripping it, we're also doing it in an orderly manner. The whole point is to try and find a failure.
Yeah.
So I've taken out all the rockers, which are just thrown in a pile of expensive rockers, I suspect.
It's 80 quid each.
80 quid each. Anybody wants to buy some used rockers?
40 of them.
Drop me a message because I've got a box of them.
Yeah.
But every single one of them I've checked to make sure there's no wear on them. Because we've been going, all the rollers are absolutely fine. There's no wear on the tips.
We've gone through the cams.
The cams look absolutely fine. It's a little bit of age-related wear.
But it's nothing. But also, if you've got oil pressure issues, you pick up the cam bearings first. So if the oil pump had failed, say, that would tear up because it's the last place it gets lubricated. Yep. And they're mint. I've still got oil coming up my variators. I've still got oil in the galleries. So we didn't lose oil pressure. The filter's useless, so that doesn't tell me, for example, about any debit in the engine. There isn't, because like you said, you've changed it.
Yep.
But anything, you can now no longer rely on the fluid that comes out of the engine or the filter to tell you any tales, because it's full of lies.
Yeah.
So you have to look at everything else. You have to look at cam bearings are always a tell, because they're the furthest away from pressure. Yeah, which is why when we put a gauge on, we put a gauge in the back of the head. You've got a head. There's a filter housing. You can do it there, but that tells you pressure at the filter. If you put it in the back of the head, that's the furthest point then away.
Okay.
Yep.
And I mean, you can see how much, like, that's out of the filter and that's into the filter. So the pump is going to be absolutely trashed because that's gone through the pump and into the filter.
Yep.
So it's picked it up in the scavenge, put it through the tank, through all the hoses, back through the oil pump, and then up through the engine. So I hope you've spent time cleaning. I
jet washed, put petrol in, swished until the dry sump tank and the hoses were clean.
So now, literally, like tonight now, if you've already done a heat cycle, if you're going back there tomorrow, filter out, mate.
I've got another filter, so changing the filter again.
Yeah. So I would be watching your oil filter like a hawk.
I am. And then when I get home, so we've just put some semi-synthetic, so it's fully synthetic 530 in it, just to get a heat cycle in it, no particular load. I did that last night, I'll do it again tomorrow, and then when I get home, I'll go on the motorway, 50 miles or something, just get it all circulated. Drop the oil, all the drain plugs on the bottom, new oil filter, put some motor in it,
Because this is where now, this is the hard bit, is if I was building this for a customer, oil pipes, oil tank, oil cooler being a bin.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you cannot.
I changed the cooler.
Yeah.
I didn't put the oil cooler back on.
Yeah.
Even though it's after the filter.
You just cannot take the risk, mate.
You can't risk it.
Well, it's after the filter, but it's on the scavenge side.
Exactly. So it's on the return to the tank, which is full of oil, full of particles. So.
You just can't, and that's what people don't get. The second you have a failure like that, everything is scrap. Everything.
It must be tempting to cut corners.
Yeah, because it's money.
Yeah.
None of these parts are cheap.
No. Then you're throwing good money after bad.
Yeah. So yeah, the fortunate thing is the hoses from the dry sump tank to the pump and then to the filter and back again. Smooth bore. There's a couple of flexes in there, but put some petrol in, give it a proper swish. Keep doing that until it's absolutely crystal clear, and only then would I use them. Yeah. So you'll obviously spot the engine's partially stripped. We just wanted to make a start this morning while we were waiting for you to join us, to get out of bed, do whatever you were doing.
To come late.
So this is bank 1. Rick, this head?
Yep.
Yep, so this is bank 1. Because it had been on track, you can see the combustion was really good. This one's a little bit wet. So initially I wasn't sure if that was an injector.
Yeah.
That pointed to this as being a problem cylinder. If you look in the bore at the actual piston, it hasn't washed. So if the injector leaks for long term, I'm sure Rick will explain this in more detail, it washes the piston crown clean. Yeah. And it hasn't done that on this one. So I'm going to send all the injectors off for testing. So I've fitted new injectors to the new engine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to send these away because they might be the cause. I need to know. The fact it hasn't washed that cylinder doesn't suggest it is. We'll split this one while you're here now.
Okay.
But yeah, it pointed to that, but the cylinder, the piston doesn't reflect that, unfortunately, yet.
You got a bit of a deadline for this night?
Yes, so end of this month, I go on a road trip.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Of course I do. So that was the problem on the way back from the ring, because your mind goes through all of the worst case. What could it be? What have you done? What haven't you done? Is it something that I've done over the winter? Because over the winter, apart from the gearbox, which obviously you guys know, I added an extra oil cooler to my cooling system for the engine oil.
Yep.
I modified the gearbox oil cooler and put another cooler, put a cooler in for that, an external one. I've given it a full service, changed the clutch, did the gearboxes we've already discussed. So you second guess yourself. You just think, is it something I've missed? What have I done? What have I not done? And that's frustrating because that causes you to lay awake at night going over what you've been doing on the car to see if it was something that you could have caused or could have avoided. I don't think I have, but perhaps when we open this it might, it should. I'm hoping the biggest thing out of this is I don't want to strip this engine and not find anything.
Yeah.
That will be more upsetting than anything to not find the cause. If pistons comes through the side of the block, it's quite hard then to find out what's going on. There's some debris in there.
Yeah. Right. That is the oil pump drive. So I've taken the chain off, so I can turn. I mean, it's horrible because we know what it's going to be
full of gravel, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That was a good shot.
It was.
Missed.
Yeah. But the oil pump's not broken up or locked up or anything like that.
No. That doesn't sound great at all, does it?
No.
Which ties in with the debris in the oil that we found.
Yeah. But again now, so what we've done here is we've removed the two heads, so we've removed the opportunity for the heads to have been locking the engine up. We both agreed we didn't think it was that because there's not even any pull on a chain, is there?
No, it didn't feel like it. But, as you say, cams are furthest away.
Yeah.
So
we've also
start
now
there first.
Removed the oil pump. Again, I don't think it was that because if my crank moves, I'll still get pull on a tensioner, and look, I'm still rock solid. So there is nothing on that crankshaft now that can cause it to lock up, apart from the crankshaft. Even if it was a rod, I've never been, if you blow a rod bearing out, you normally blow the bearing out, so you can still turn it over. For it to be that solid,
Yeah.
that's a main.
It's done the main, hasn't it? I think it's done the main. That's what we find ourselves doing, cheers, Matt, is you try and diagnose it with the information that you've got, and we don't have all the information, but the fact it's seized, we thought it was probably a bearing. You know, I've had big end bearings go on the Golf, but they do make a particular noise, which is a dugga noise. It's a and it didn't do that. No. And that's what's confusing me, that it's not making the noises I know engines make when a bearing's gone. And the fact that when it first came up with the check light, we thought it had seized, but then we bumped it off and drove it. Bearings don't unseize themselves. Once they're welded,
have I got one?
They're welded. So that's a little bit confusing as well. And that's why I was hoping to find something either in, maybe
it's on one of them.
Tensioner had collapsed or something and jammed a chain, but that all looks absolutely fine. There's no issues there, but that could have caused it, because if you've got something wedged in there, that'd stop your crank turning, but it won't turn either way, so we don't think it's that either.
The mystery deepens.
The mystery does deepen, and let's get this head off. So you've seen that before, I have.
Oh, that's interesting.
What's that?
Pulled a bore out.
And that is another one nearest to the time chain, but yeah.
You've got a bit of scuff, but that's heavy.
So at some time in its life, this car was parked under a pine tree, because I'm finding bits of this everywhere. So the bits that's dropped down the bore is literally that's dropped down the inlet as I've been taking the manifold off.
Yep.
If I was going to reuse the engine, I'd have vacuum cleaned it out. There's no point, because I know it's not in a good place. So I'm just going to remove this at the top, this plate. But if you come around here, Dav, there is a lever point there. So when you see screwdrivers going in, there's a gap. It's not on the face. You can just crack it off.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. I'm using a screwdriver to pry something off. There's a place for it.
Right. I'm just going to do that. Chuck that under there, because that'll drain out.
Shall I take out these drains?
Yeah, you need the chokes out.
Yeah.
And then, have you got your...
I think a squirrel's lived in there at some point, doesn't it?
It's not as bad as the one we saw yesterday, Rick, is it?
No. No. It is pretty bad, isn't it?
Right, let me get those T30s out. I didn't realise one of the chambers didn't have oil in.
Which one's that, mate?
That one.
That side of it is dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never realised that.
Yeah, so you've got main oil pressure comes up through the top of the housing, through the filter, then the filter feeds it back down into that housing. That's the choke out.
Yep.
So that's the splash over. So that drains back through into the crankcase, and the chokes are there to stop it overwhelming and aerating as it drains through.
Yep.
And then this is a retention valve, and then that bore there is the oil squirters.
Okay. Oh, right, I didn't know that. Yeah. I crack them first. I'm not using a gun to loosen things. I know how that goes.
Preempting the comments.
Oh, yeah, I know. So, if you look at the water pump housing, I sheared off 3, and that was done with a wrench. Oh. And they started loosening, so I nipped them up again, and they just went tight.
Aluminium.
It's aluminium with these. They just corrode and stick to it, and that's it. But I did do it properly. I'm assuming is there something under this? Oh, sorry, Vic. Sorry.
It just got.
I just splat. There's a spline there, isn't there?
It's a pit, like, you know, you see them mugs where it's got a word and then like a dictionary description behind it, and it says ejaculate, and then underneath it says how a northern man tells Jack he's behind time.
Hey Jack, you're late.
So I told it to my middle one, Jack. Honestly, you should have seen his face.
I don't know if we actually needed to do that there, but I think people will appreciate, appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if anybody's watching this thinking, Nige, you seem to know what you're doing with this. This week, while I've been in my hotel room on a night, I've watched Ricky's How to Strip a V10 Engine in an Hour video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know otherwise. It's given me a very good...
So that's your...
I need something better than that
spin the cog off, the
right.
carrier, then you'll get the breather plate off.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this auxiliary drive off.
Okay. So even this is a post-filter bearing, and that's got hardly any wear on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you can still see the
we
original
haven't got a pressure issue.
No, not at all.
Because the blocks now don't run that little choke. We don't run that one anymore.
Why?
I have no idea.
Oh, Audi, it's not a thing that you do.
No, Audi have done away with it. Yeah,
No?
yeah.
So you can see the oil coming out of there, Dave.
Yep.
So these tensioners are fed with oil from the back that pushes the piston out, and that distance from the lever point to the expected oil pressure sets the spring tension. And all Vic's doing now is forcing that backwards.
Some of them have a ball bearing in the bottom, and some of them are just a spring. So they do that on the ones that they expect if the oil pressure drops away, you want it held in that tensioner, even if it drains out the bottom of the engine, which is why you can leave engines for months and months and months, and they don't clatter when you start them.
Mine didn't when I started it yesterday. That stood for 5 years, and that didn't clatter. That was nerve-wracking.
Just going to stop.
I mean, the guides look all right, don't they?
Yeah.
So this is a 36,000 mile engine. It was 29 when I bought it, or 28 or something, and the guides have got almost no wearing at all.
Yeah.
Normally, when I strip something down that I've not done before, I put everything in little boxes and label where it came from.
Don't need to do that. You've got a Ricky.
Don't care. Rick will go, that goes there. I know exactly where that one goes.
Unceremoniously done.
So that pile there of the cams, the bridges, the variators, the tensioners, fuel pumps, everything. How much is all that, roughly? Top of your head?
10 grand.
10 grand.
Well, cylinder heads are 5 each, so remove the cylinder heads. If you want to refresh one of these, bearings, rings, chains, tensioners, gaskets, top to bottom, it's 10 grand. It's 10 grand.
And we're just throwing it on the bench.
A GT3 refresh without even trying is that.
Yeah.
It's my favourite bit, this.
You like this bit?
Something very satisfying about.
I bet you don't normally get bits of tree falling out though.
Yes, it's quite
right.
base.
Alternator bracket off.
Yep.
Oil pump off.
Yep.
And then we can
have a look at the scavenge and then take off the mains.
girdles.
Yeah. The list of things to learn about the R8 was not first hand how an engine comes apart.
They all right?
That was not in the plan.
That wasn't in the script.
No, we were driving back to the ring when it had ceased, and I said to Louise, I said,
I was worried about that.
I'm 100%,
Because these are offset.
100%
Offset pins,
that I want this to be an easy fix. Because we didn't know at the time what was wrong with it.
Sided as well.
And she went, right,
yeah.
you know, in that tone that she knows I'm going to say something else. I said, there's a tiny part of me that wouldn't mind looking at the engine. And she just looked at me and went, no, we don't want to do that. I know, I don't want to do it, but I am curious. And sadly my wish was answered. But it wasn't a wish, you know what I mean.
Yeah, your worst fear.
My worst fears were answered. Yeah, absolutely. This is, well, as much as anything, it's the time. You know, I've been away from home now for, I think, 7 days. I went home at the weekend, so I came down last Wednesday, and then I'm here tonight. If I don't finish it, I'll be here tomorrow night, because I need to get it done for the end of the month. If I was working, if I hadn't retired, I couldn't have done this. This is a nights and weekends job. This is months and months.
I've only got to put seats and bumpers on my car and it's sat outside.
Because you don't have time. Absolutely. Yeah.
Customers' cars come first.
Yeah. Got the gun?
Yeah, tell me. Nothing to do with the fact that I try and race motorbikes as well, but we won't bring that up because I feel dirty using this.
What, Milwaukee? If you snap on, man. So these are I brought my tools, so I wasn't using the guy's tools while we were doing it. The snap-on, my son's got the small 3/8 snap-on gun. The best bit about it is the rocker on the trigger.
Yeah.
Forward and back.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yep.
But Milwaukee, obviously, they don't do anything. They're superb guns. He's not playing, is he?
You were trying to be persuaded that there was a different tool of yesterday, weren't you, by somebody? Has it?
Oh, yeah. They do good German stuff, but I'm just waiting for the day that we're big enough that
needs those up.
Have
you got that one out,
I've got the
haven't you?
bottom one out. I'm just waiting for the day we're big enough, Dav, where Snap-on want to play. Because Jace really tries, but...
Yeah.
Right.
Can I do anything, Rick?
No, I'm just going to do that, mate.
Yeah.
There we go. Right.
I've got a pick. Just want to...
I can see bits in that one, but
Yeah.
if that's all you're going to have, it's just going to have...
Oh, do they just pull off?
They should do. It might be a bit stuck, mate, but... yeah.
They're just coarse filters, that's all.
If we look in here, look.
What is that? That?
Bearing.
That's
It's
bearing,
a
that.
little bit of sealant.
Yeah.
A little bit, nothing.
That's bearing though, that.
Yep.
That there. Hang on, this way. You see that? That's bearing.
Ow! A bearing splinter. Never had a bearing splinter before.
Man, a few words have just arrived. There you go.
0 words.
0 words today.
Right. I'm going to sit this.
We've literally just found some bearing material in the oil pump. Yeah, that's never a good thing, is it?
Maybe you can harvest the casings, but the inside is scrap.
Right.
Tell me.
I am a glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah, I get that.
Definitely, because it's something I said to my wife years ago. If it's something I can change, and I'm not doing, then moan about it or try and do something. If I can't change it, don't get stressed.
100%.
You just get stressed about things that you have no control over, wind yourself up, and the golf taught me a lot. It's something my dad said when I was very young growing up. He said, anybody can make a mistake or break something, it's how you deal with it.
Yeah. It's your response.
It's down to you, it's your response. Do you sit in a corner and just say, woe is me,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? Or do you think, right, okay, it's happened, I can't undo it, I haven't got a time machine.
Yeah.
How can I fix this? At times the golf tested that, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But generally that's just how I try to be with life, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable
Yeah.
way to live rather than stressing all the time.
100%.
Even when things break, when this broke, the people who were with me, no, you're taking it surprisingly well. I said, I'm not. Inside, I'm really unhappy, but what do I do? Sit in my room with the lights off and feel sorry for myself. So, yeah.
Good attitude.
Yeah, I try to be positive. I feel life's more interesting that way, more enjoyable. Does that fit down there?
I'll tell you what I found as well. If you look for the positives and you have that mindset, you spot them.
You do. Absolutely, because you're looking for them. Yeah.
It's the same thing as if you say, oh, I saw this yellow Renault 5 yesterday. Well, I'll see another one tomorrow. Because my brain's thinking about it. And your subconscious is looking out for it.
When you're looking for a new car, you see loads of them on the road.
Yeah. So if I'm going out tomorrow with a negative frame of mind, thinking, well, I'm not going to have any opportunities today, I'm not going to progress.
Yep.
Well, guess what? Your brain doesn't spot anything.
Won't spot any opportunities. That's good. I've not looked at it that way, but you're absolutely right. So it's now a motivational channel as well.
Hey, mindset.
This channel is just spreading.
Life coaching. Yeah.
Be positive. What was the song? Always look on the bright side of life.
Yes.
But it's that in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You can usually find positives. Yeah. I appreciate cat always. I'm not that naive in the way of the world, but if you can find a positive, try and find it. That's why I'm still smiling, even though I've got a 5-figure bill for a replacement engine. It just...
Either that or you're just a bit insane. I mean, who knows?
I think there's both. So yeah, so I have a used engine that I got from James at Push Performance, as I mentioned earlier.
Yep.
I've done all the labour by myself. James helped me a little bit. I don't mean that I did everything, but we've done everything together. We haven't paid anybody to do it. And with the engine, obviously service items, it's 5 figures. I'm into a 5-figure bill.
And that's with you doing the labour.
And that's with me doing everything, and not giving it a full overhaul. Like, Rick was saying earlier, it's 10 grand just to open one of these up and put it back. I'm not even opening it.
Yeah.
It's an 18,000 mile engine that we hope is all right. And even then it's a 5-figure bill.
Yeah.
So, but
as Ricky would say, you have to pay to play.
You have to pay to play. I just didn't expect to pay for an engine.
Yeah. At this stage?
At this stage, no, not at all.
Or if at all?
If at all. With a gearbox. On the gearbox video, the link is there.
If I remember to put it in.
If you remember to put it in, if not, I'm just randomly pointing at the sky. I explained in that, when I bought the car, I had a feeling that something wasn't quite right with the gearbox.
Yeah.
I can live with that. I mentally budgeted for that cost. I hadn't budgeted for this cost at all, and this is coming out of funds that were allocated for something else.
Of course, yeah.
And this is why Matt's in such an issue with this car.
Yeah.
He's a lot younger than me. He's just bought a house. He's had an engine go, and he doesn't have that disposable cash just sat there for an engine change.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with this hobby that we do. It can throw you some unpleasant curveballs.
Especially with the ring as well, because that is the ultimate test, as everybody keeps saying.
It is.
It's going to find out.
If there's something going to fail, the ring will do it. It's going up Kesselchen, as I mentioned earlier. It's a long section where you're flat out for several seconds.
Yep.
You don't do that in the UK. You don't do that at Coombe.
No.
You come out the last corner, you go through Folly, I think it is, and then you brake for Avon Rise, and that's the longest you flat out. Where the ring, it's tens of seconds.
Which is why the manufacturers test there.
It's exactly why the manufacturers test there. So yeah, it highlights issues. I don't know what was highlighted with this one, because oil starvation isn't a thing on these because they're dry sumped. It's one of the reasons I bought an R8, because they're dry sumped. The GT cars run them for 24 hours with no issues.
Yep.
I had chased oil pressure issues for years with a Golf. I fitted an AccuSump, which helped massively. But there she goes.
There it is.
Into the proper lever point as well. Just looking at this, so this is covered. That's all bearing material there.
Yeah,
you just see all the little bits of it here.
Yep.
It's more at this end.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely more at this end, which is the end where
corresponds with,
it corresponds with that. James is my new best friend. That's where I got my engine from.
Yeah, we're now engine buddies.
We are engine buddies. We've gone through the pain of fitting an R8 engine together.
And like you've moved in. Shall I hold this? Go on. Yeah, you've moved into my house.
Yes.
Basically,
I've just
late
lived
last
there.
night, wasn't it? I think you left mine at like 10, did you?
No, it's 11. 10 to 11 now.
Was it?
Yeah, that's when I was
Yeah,
packing
I was
up.
locking up the shed, and he was in there still slaving away.
He came out and said, "Will you just go home? I need to lock up now."
No, I didn't. No.
I know you didn't.
But it's good though, isn't it? It seems all right. It seems like we're winning.
Yeah, we started it last night, and it seems like
Yeah, she
a
sounds sweet.
really nice engine, even without the exhausts.
Yeah.
Because before you put everything back on, you just start it up just to make sure.
Yeah.
And it sounded all right.
And now this is the spares engine.
This is a spare. Well, I've got lots there.
It's going to be a table. Yeah, I think so.
Try not to spray oil all over you as well.
Done that once already, ain't you, mate?
All right, let it go.
I've had a facial.
It's looked okay, but it's still pointing to the bottom end.
Yeah, I can see the rod is gold on the crank.
Yep.
And I got no throw in it either.
So no float at all.
I've got no float at all.
I think that's all of them, mate.
Right.
See, solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid.
Is it?
Oh, we had the big bar on it.
So what are we going for then? What do we think?
Main. I thought mains because it didn't make the noise.
Okay.
Yep.
Hang on. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, that was a tinkle.
Main.
That one, that's got hot. Look at
That
that.
is.
That main has gone.
Very sad.
Thrusts.
It's only that one.
Only the one. It's only the one. It's gone, mate. It's actually gone.
There's no bet. Oh, right.
It's locked up and it's spun,
Let me put that.
which has obviously then starved the rods.
Yep.
Your thrust washers are smoked. They're done. Now that one's worn out from heat, but that one's actually got push marks in it. So that's this side. Oh no. Right.
How do you get the ones out we can't get to the heads?
Because that is a good point.
You like that one? How do you get that?
Well, I think if we work on this side, I reckon that's spun
Yep.
and then it's on, off, and what's ultimately locked it up is probably the rods as well.
Yeah.
Because you've starved the rods.
Yes, because it's closed that cross drill to there.
That's an upper bearing. That's not a lower, that's an upper.
Of course. And the cross drilling will be that way.
Yeah.
So it's obviously, as you say, it's stabbed that
So
way.
I reckon if we try and get these rods undone.
Yep. So it's here. Something's happened in here. So that's the upper main. That is the thrust bearings. So maybe they put them here.
Why did you have the firm?
So these are two-part
Because I needed ECU off.
bearings because you can't
sorry.
slide them on the crank.
Yep.
You have one either side. It goes down there. And the same on that side. And what that does is it stops you floating the crank that way. So your mains let your crank spin. Your big ends take the load from your con rods on the combustion stroke and stop your piston flying out the top on the upward stroke. And your thrust stop it moving that way. So it's all in here. It's around that particular main. So there was a perhaps naive hope, I won't say expectation, I think that's even too strong for me, that the block would be all right. He's just stood here shaking his head. Not a chance. This is scrap. So that there is not a bearing. That's the lower girdle. That
You do a bearing, you crank them. The only way your block would have been all right is if you've got them.
So that's a bearing. So if I pop that out,
There.
that's a bearing. And you can see the wear on them is really good.
Yeah.
And the back of the bearing is the machine finish. That is the back of a bearing. It's literally, there's nothing left. So this, Rick, is this one.
That is what head are you?
Either it's timing chain end.
The other end. So you're the. So this is 5.
Yeah, but it's timing chain end is this.
It is timing chain end.
So that, the one that has oil, fuel, whatever on both heads is this end chamber, which is near this one.
Bottom of my
So
big
something's
toolbox
happened in
the
this
engine room is my
this end.
engraver. Can you go and get it, please, mate? Right. If you hold that,
Yep.
that's number 5. This rod bearing is solid.
Oh, it moved.
Chuck us that hammer, please, mate.
Mind my crank. So this is precision rod cap removal. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to grab that cap before it drops?
What we worried it would do some damage.
I don't know why. You can't help it, can you? You just the way that you are.
It feels wrong, doesn't
It
it?
does just to drop bits in an engine, even though it's. Wow, that's got hot.
It's got hot, mate. Okay, so that's 5. So can you mark that up, please, mate? Cal's got a... So the rod is gone because the main journal is blocked. So the upper bearing, the crankshaft passes oil through an upper. Where's the lower? Yeah. And then, so your lower's a plain bearing, nothing on it. Your upper bearing has a groove all the way around. So the oil, that's a dull casing. This has got all the galleries in. So the pressure comes down the upper bearing, through the groove, feeds your crank holes. Yeah, so it lubricates the bearings that the crank's running in. It fills the crank, and then which pressurizes the rods. So the second is you block them holes off, or you block the feed off into the journal, into the bearing. You then don't get oil in the rods. So we know the rod's not the problem because we've got a problem earlier in the stage. You've seen this? Cheers, mate. This is Luke.
Hello. Hey, Luke. You all right? What's your Insta?
Luke_RS4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Check him out.
Solid.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, no, I just lifted that.
I lifted it, so that other rod is still locked up. Oh, this one's not going to be fun.
That's very similar to like a CFSA engine.
What, your one? Is it?
Yeah. And if it's spun the main.
So Luke bought my RS4.
Ah, right, the Sepang Blue,
Yeah.
Yes.
the carbon ceramics.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Nice.
And then Luke's no longer my friend because he stripped it, and it's worse than we thought.
Yeah, yeah. You don't know about it until you strip them down.
Actually, it cracked the journal, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Broke the block off. Cracked the block.
Can we try lifting the crank?
Yeah, I think we might, mate. If I get on that.
Do you want to take the others out? That might let us lift it up then.
Which ones can we get? I can't get those. I was hoping if I could do that, then I can spin it all.
Ah, okay, I'm with you. But it did lift, didn't it, there?
Yeah, I just don't know whether it's going to be...
Get on with a spanner?
I was thinking a 10mm spanner, mate.
All right. This is not a happy face. Kind of an expected level of failure, but still not.
Yeah, you don't want to see it.
No. No, because everything else looks mint.
Yeah, yeah.
So how common are bearing failures on these?
I've done 2. You're the second.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yay! Part of an exclusive club.
Yeah.
The V10 bearing spinners.
James, I did James's, but that was number 1 or number 5.
Was that the one that went in
yeah,
traffic years
yeah.
ago?
He was end, so he was end case.
Is that main bearings or big ends?
Main, did a main. Never do big ends of fucking ease.
They're really hard.
I might have to beat that.
They're really hard.
Absolutely. You got that, mate. Tabard. I just can't quite get on it square. It's horrible.
You just know it's going to jump.
Is it going?
I think it was moving. I'll watch it while you... No.
I'm slipping, am I?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, you're gone now. You're not bad at this game, are you?
UJs are the devil.
They are, aren't they?
I hate them.
Well, they're fine with a little bit of angle.
But they're not universal, are they?
No, they're not.
Like
You
that.
get to a point
They should
and
be
they
called
just go.
5-degree joints.
Yeah. Yeah, slightly off square, you're fine.
5% working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's welding there.
I'm gonna politely.
Tap it. Do you want something soft to hit it with?
There we go.
Or screwdriver? No, look at that. Yep.
Good catch.
There's bits of bearing on there.
Yeah. That my only question would be there is, as the heat's coming off and spinning and taking the bearing out,
Yep.
is it spreading it? Because we've obviously, have we spread debris up the bores that's picked the piston up? Because it's done both pistons.
Yeah. It's done both pistons and these.
And then that's oil getting sucked
That's oil
up
getting-
past the degradation in the bores.
Yep, yep.
Because, I mean, look at it. You would say that's... I'm just trying to look. Have a look on the bottom of that other piston you took out. Is there swarf sat on the bottom of the oil ring? Oh, yeah, no, just in the skirt. You can see it sat in the skirt.
That means that bore's lovely, though.
It means a bearing's got so hot and essentially like angle grinder and sent it.
See, like there, that's there.
Yeah.
So what Vic's saying is, the metal coming out of the bearing has got thrown into the side, it's got picked up in the piston as it's going up and down in the bore,
Yeah.
which is allow oil to go up past the oil controller
Yeah.
and the other
Because
rings.
that, honest to God, that there, that's material missing.
Yeah.
But I've got colour, I've got raised sections in
Yeah.
it. So we've essentially sent brazing up and down, because look, it's all in a line.
Yeah. If you have a, can you see down there, Dave, where my finger's pointing?
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Now, all right, everyone's going to say, yeah, of course it is, it's all in line with the skirt. Which it is, but also, sorry, James, stick your light back in there, mate. Can you see down there where my finger is? That's lumps. So I think what we've got here is, like if you angle grind a load of sparks up a wing,
Yep.
you damage the paint.
Yep.
What we've done is, we've created a lot of heat and a lot of material, and we've essentially sent it out in a Catherine wheel style.
Down the side of, so in here,
Yeah, look at it. Can you see it? There? Mm-hmm. So we've had a Catherine wheel of debris.
Dave, and then these oil gaps between your joining faces, the debris will fit through those gaps as it's been coming out. So the oil pressure in the bearing will be pushing it up there. That's where it'll come from, won't it?
GLE 6 top. Yeah, look, can you see it? All in the skirt, all in the inside of the piston, look. You see them grey marks?
There's some in that skirt there, you can see.
Yeah, look as well. You see? She's working forensics, mate. How much do they pay coppers these days to do that job?
Not enough.
I could piece together a crime scene. So this is all, look, it's all molten metal embedded in the... Yeah, don't damage your heads. It's
No,
one
no,
bit.
I know.
It's the one bit. It's
The heads look-
actually...
the heads are all right, yeah.
But that's a hole. Wow. Right.
And they screw that on there.
Yeah, go on
and
then.
label
You
it
mark
up.
that one. So
Is this 6?
That is 10.
10. Oh, all right. The other one was 5, yeah?
The other one is 5.
Right.
Right. So in theory, oh mate,
Look
the
at that.
breakaway torque on that is just beautiful.
Want me to push it?
A little tiny bit more, please, mate. Yeah, there we go. That is wafer thin on that side.
Need to get that main.
Yeah, I'll get it off.
Oh, it moved.
Right, that's a lower. Okay,
It moved, did that? It's rotated so the joins there.
come back a little bit. There you go.
Ooh. Show that to Dave. That's. Where's that pick?
Where's that?
You got that little pick?
That's span a couple of times as well,
There.
because there's a groove in the back of that.
Oh, I can't push that.
Right, let me crack these others off,
Yep.
spin them out. Get rid of that now.
You know how much heat's gone down into the block.
Yeah, that's it, and everyone goes, oh, it's all right, and you're like, second you've had block and second you've had heat like that and a jerk. Ow!
I feel good. So if you also look here, Dave, as it's been said, it's been throwing it round. If you look all here, you see all bits of bearing material that's hit that face as it's been spun. So just where the finger is there, that's bearing material.
Pretty catastrophic.
It is catastrophic. It's worst case. It's a crank and a block.
Doesn't get much worse.
It doesn't, does it?
Block, it's crank, block, and set of rods.
I mean, if the car had caught fire, I mean, that'd be it, really, wouldn't it?
That's probably, yeah. Yeah.
And then some flood damage. Job's done.
Yeah, it could always be worse.
Yeah.
This is what we were saying earlier. It could be worse.
Yeah, let's lighten the mood. Now, did you see that picture of Fagan on the back of Top Rank's bike?
I did.
How did he manage that?
How did he get on there? How did that rear shock take that?
What we should do is, right?
Look good though.
Can you?
It's a lot of
Can you capture that off? So this is what you got to do in this video, right? Capture that, because I'll send it to Top Rack as I get him to share it. We'll make a little video.
Yep.
And then in the next scene, get the bit from Top Gun where Kelly McGillis is riding on the back of his. Oh, Maverick, take me to bed or lose me forever.
That's might go viral.
Yeah. Mate, and we will make that viral.
Yeah.
I fixed his gearbox, he'll post that.
Yeah, he'll do that. He should do that.
Brilliant.
Number 2, sir.
It's amazing how we still treat them with respect, isn't it? You just can't help it.
Those will be on eBay later, aren't they?
Yeah.
For a 5-cylinder.
Set of Darcer rods.
That's a rod, yeah.
And,
Get some money back.
yeah,
Got bills to pay, haven't we?
We've got lots of bills.
if you get rid of the 2 damaged ones, you can sell the other ones for an up.
Yeah,
A
hey.
free cylinder, isn't it?
Big ball kit. He hadn't done many miles anyway, didn't this engine? Or
36,000.
Never raced or rallied.
never gentle.
Gentle, just go to the shops and back. That's bad for them.
He doesn't do many track days, mate. He spends time
No,
crashing.
no. Oh. Ow. Ow.
What did you have?
I have
Yeah, you had 2. What was that, 2?
2.
So that's 7.
I don't think he's getting one of your orange club biscuits now, is he, Nige?
He's not going to have one. I'm going to eat them all.
It's. Mitch was in the car, wasn't he, when you crashed at a ring?
No.
Where is he?
Although you do keep saying this, and every time you hear this voice going, no, I was not.
If you're coming on our track day tomorrow, don't let Mitch in your car. Or if you do, make sure his sunglasses are in his van.
We actually tell the sunglasses story now.
I don't. Eh?
The car's fixed.
Is it all fixed now, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
60 grand's worth
what it
of
was?
damage.
Oh, dear.
Sorry, Hans, mate. 1, 2, 3.
That's not cool.
That's 4. So Hans came on our first track day last year, wasn't it?
Yep.
With his super trick
Lovely.
Atom. And
Full aero,
yeah. And
Come on, compose yourself.
he took Mitch out. And honestly, you can't. It can't happen. It only happens to you, doesn't it? Let's be honest,
Come over.
right? This is not the car's fixed, yes, but basically, they went out and they were doing laps, and as they went up to Avon Rise, something hit Hans in the chest, and he thought he was like it was. Something hit Hans in the chest. He looked down to sort it, and he dropped the car. He dropped the car at Quarry, all right, and it started to do that one as well, mate. He dropped the car at Quarry, tore the back corner off it. It was big shunt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Hans goes to Mitch. He goes, "Your sunglasses hit me in the chest, mate." That's what it. He goes, "Oh, what happened?" He goes, "Your sunglasses hit me." That's what he goes. No. I left my sunglasses in paddock, and like where you were stood, weren't they? They were like at his feet.
No, we went back and it was coming back down, like back down the straight,
Yeah.
near, like obviously way before Avon Rise, because we'd walked back up to Avon Rise, which is where the ambulance whatever picked us up. We had to get checked over and stuff, because obviously we went It was a big off backwards interval at about 140. So.
No, Rick, the last one was 4.
Sorry, 9.
9.
Yeah.
And you found your sunglasses. Found your sunglasses.
Not a scratch on them, mate.
Oh, mate. Love it.
So this is where all the jokes come from.
So literally, Mitch crashed an uncrashable car. You caused someone to crash in a passenger seat. So then literally, Nige tipped off, and everyone was like, "Where's Mitch?" Like,
I'm here, never do me.
By association.
to us.
It's not my fault.
I think even Matt said, like we were stood like this, and Matt goes, "Where's Mitch?" And you just went, "I'm here." Oh, right, you're not involved then. So, yeah, it's funny. You got to laugh.
You've got to laugh.
You've got to laugh or you're crying.
Yeah. All I can think of is obviously he helped Hans load it up, and you went down and you helped him strip it and stuff like that, didn't you?
I helped him strip it, and then he had some work to do on his
Porsche as well.
So I helped him. I'd take the engine out of that.
But all I can remember is Hans driving away in the lorry to go and pick it up from scrutineering bay, and you're stood in the back of the lorry like that. Do you remember?
Yeah, waving.
Like that. So yeah, Hans has literally just got it back. It's been like nearly a year. So sorry, mate, if we've told your story and you're...
Is he going on the track day tomorrow?
No, he's never coming to visit
Never
us
again.
again.
I did invite him, but he didn't come.
He did send
Some
me an
people are funny like
he
that,
did
aren't
send me an email going, "I'll come up for tea when Mitch is retired."
That thing will be even quicker now, mine, because he's got
He's
Quafe air shift sequential now and stuff. And it's got
yeah. So basically,
power.
you did him a favour.
Yeah, I
You
pushed the car.
pushed him into tuning mods.
This is the discussion I've been having with James the last few days. I'm spending all this money and it's not going to be any better.
Oh, he must have done a little bit more then.
Yeah, but you can't on these. You need to spend a lot to make them better. So I'm spending 5 figures. It'll be just the same as it was 2 weeks ago. That's even more upsetting.
Yeah, I can't do 2 of the kits that.
Fresh engine, it'll be a bit more powerful.
The other one wasn't bad, was it?
This is a conversation we have with a lot of people though, because they ring us up and they go, "Oh yeah, twin turbo R8," and don't get me wrong, they're proper, but you go and buy a Turbo S for the same money, and you drop 10 grand on it, and it's the power it'll make with an R8 or a Huracan with 50 bags spent on it, isn't it?
But that's not what it's about, is it, tuning? It's not about just buying a car that does everything. It's about a car that you want, that you like for whatever reason, be it aesthetics, handling or whatever, and making that better and developing your car.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly that.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. You're absolutely right. You can buy the Porsche, but who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Well, some people do. Yeah,
That's
exactly. 8.
That's it. That's number 8.
Yep. Yeah, some people do. They don't want to do the tuning, but enthusiasts like us, we want to do that. These sorts of things. Yeah, that build.
Like right now, I would rather build a car for a lap time than I would for a power figure, because I know if I go down a power figure route,
I'm chasing something that's never ending budget.
well, I was just about to say, mate, you're talking house money, ain't you?
Yeah, you're in.
By the time you bought the car and everything, what are you now? 200 bags in?
Yeah, just under. And it still don't go. That's not at all.
And now it doesn't even have an engine in it.
No.
At least it had an engine before.
At least I had that to mock it up with.
Yeah.
Then you know.
1, 2, that's 3. Yeah, you've basically got a really expensive breakers car now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We're standing it.
Yeah, just put it down a minute. Just crack the block, same as yours.
Is that right?
Oh wow.
Look at it. It's had that much heat going through it.
That's the other thrust.
That's the first experiment.
That has gone. So there's no bearing
I'm sure
on
it's
here.
the left.
So that line there, you just see where I'm
I
pointing.
think so.
Comes across there, and then it
What
goes
does it
down
say
the
on it?
side. Just down there, if you can see, there's a little crack.
What it is?
So it's actually the heat has cracked. Isn't it this side as well?
Oh, right, okay. I think it's up,
So I'm just pointing to it.
as in both of them. So it's the window switches.
It's just up there, there's a crack. Yeah. So that is scrap.
1.756, 1.754, 1.672. So it's pulled the thrust side to bits, mate. 1.861. So that's more.
Try that
Shouldn't
one.
you brakes, isn't
1.8.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you
It's been braking that hard. It's,
1.897. So they're significantly thinner on the gearbox side, mate.
right. The other 8 bars look absolutely mint. So we just chop it there. Just put a plate, pretend it doesn't exist.
Just make it a 4-cylinder.
The others look mint. Was it Jag or someone who did that with a V8 casted and they just had 6? Was it Jag? I think it was it? And they made it into a V6, didn't they? Yeah.
The Mercs now, aren't they? The Mercedes diesels now. I'm sure they've got 2 dead cylinders on them.
Have they?
Yeah. Or they're literally cut in half. They literally just lop them off the back or something. It's gone through, look. It's gone that thin. It's actually picked up. It's pushed the crank into the block. Can you see?
Oh yeah.
It's basically wound the machine face off. The crack is from the heat, because you've had the same on yours, haven't you? All the way, look, it's gone all the way down the pet. So I don't know if you can see it, Dav.
Yeah, we got a video.
Yeah, and all the way down.
Yeah.
So that's just heat. What I've got this side is I've got impact marks from the crank going that way. Because there, look, it's peened it over. It's peened the edge of the crankcase over there.
What about the other side?
The other side's square. You've obviously got the heat damage from the bearings.
Of
We've
course.
got thinner thrust washer bearings this side.
And this side.
Yeah, but we're significantly thinner that side.
Right.
So it's almost like we've had thrust acting
Is that from the rotation of the engine?
in one way. Well, normally they're quite an open float. So obviously, I mean, you know, it's like that way we don't see much, but obviously that way is the clutch way, and it being a manual.
No, other way. Isn't it?
No, that way. This is the back. This is gearbox side.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, this is timing chain end, isn't it?
Yeah,
of course
it's
it is.
gearbox side.
Of course it is.
So you've seen more wear that way
Yes.
than you have that way. You've
Yes.
seen more wear that way to the point the crank has impacted the block.
Right. I see.
Yeah?
Yes, because so the thrust bearing sits in that recess there.
Yeah.
But we've worn it to that thickness.
So what you've
on
got
this side, haven't we?
on that side you've worn it to that thickness. On
Yes.
this side you've worn it because you've got no oil flow. So
Yeah.
you will always have damage on thrust. So say it was a DCT car where you don't have thrust off a clutch and you picked up a main, I would expect both thrusts to be even.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Right.
you've lost your oil flow through the thrust washers
Yep.
because that's what the grooves are for.
Yep.
So you're now expanding, you've got heat and you'll wear both away.
Okay.
We've got wear on the non-thrust
Yep.
and a lot of wear on the thrust. So we've got uneven wear across the thrust washers,
Yeah. So obviously one side's a lot thinner, isn't it? Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We have mint bearings there and not there. So my question would be, have we overheated the bearings from the thrust, from the fact that you've got so much thrust? Because you've got metal to metal contact here.
Yeah.
Before that's failed because you've worn it away.
So is this where in the oil sequence is this one? You know, from the feeding the galleries to the cross drilling, is it the last one?
It's almost, mate, your feedback is, you're almost directly below main feed because it comes out the oil filter housing, down into the bottom where your squirters are.
Yep.
Yeah. So if I go...
So that's the last one to
That's
get.
the last
so
one.
that's usually what we pick
you
up.
don't have an oil pressure issue. It's not oil pressure. All right?
Yeah.
So...
You thought if it was oil pressure, you'd have thought you'd have more signs on big ends as well.
The further you are away.
Well, that's why I was
you'd have
asking where the
more,
oil
yeah.
came into the crank,
Yeah.
for that exact reason.
So, if you get a screwdriver and pop that out, and then what we'll do is, where's the brake cleaner? Might be better putting a big screwdriver.
Oh,
in
the
there,
whole
mate.
thing comes, sorry,
Yeah.
I thought it was just centre.
Cal, go and dig me out another brake cleaner bottle, please, mate. That's it, it'll just pop. Oh, yeah.
So this is the relief valve, am I guessing?
Yep.
Yep.
And there you go. So I haven't even got to strip it. So you come out the oil pump, up the front of the block, through this, through the cooler on the breather plate. It's got a thermostat in it, so it either goes through the cooler or it goes through. It comes along the breather plate on the top, up through the filter housing, through the filter, pushed down through that that's the main bore feed, right?
Yep.
That's it, tell me. It's all right, I want it as a... So if you now look at the bottom, Dav, I'll tell you what, if I go like that, so I can see daylight through the bottom of that hole.
Yeah.
The bottom of that hole is the centre of your main.
Where are we looking? There.
There. So that's the first.
That's the first main
first
fed.
bearing that gets oil, not the last.
Yeah.
So the bearing comes through the main into the cross drillings
Yeah,
to get to
and
all
I
the
can see, what have we got?
Have you got a piece of TIG wire or something?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Zip tie? Is that long enough?
Oh yeah. Right.
That is a straight line from the bottom of the feed in.
Right.
So it is not an oil pressure issue.
No. You'd expect the end
Yeah.
one to be if it was oil pressure, wouldn't you? Which is what I've had before. I've had the furthest one away. That's why I asked where the feed was.
Yeah.
Because I've had it before where the bearing furthest away from where the oil comes
Yeah.
into the cross drillings gets starved in corners
Naturally,
and picks up.
so pressure comes from flow, or pressure is the result of not being able to use flow. So boost is the engine's inefficiency to use the air you're flowing. Yeah. So the more air you flow for the same turbo speed, the less pressure you'll have. Same with oil. So if we take a drain plug at the back of the head,
Yep.
we've got the same flow, but we've got no pressure.
No pressure. Yeah.
So the same thing. So then you sit there and you go, right. So the furthest point you go from the pump, in theory, it won't be that bad, but it will be the lowest pressure because you're obviously always leaking off.
You're leaking at all
as
your
you go.
bearings, of course.
Right. So if the first point of pressure, that's even before it's travelled through these tiny galleries. So to get to the heads, they go out of these two holes, they go down these galleries, and they come up these holes through the heads,
Yep.
and then they feed
Cam journals.
4 E lifters,
Yep.
4 variators,
Oh, of course, yeah.
and all the cam lobes.
Yeah.
So if we even got to the heads, we fed that main,
Yes.
and we've got an issue at the main. You didn't have an oil pressure issue.
I didn't, no. Well, no. And that,
You didn't.
No, because everything else, the cam journals and the furthest main away,
Yeah.
and the crank bearings furthest away.
So now my question is, why have you got more wear thrust that way than that way? Because the crank should float.
Yeah. That's what your thrust bearings are for, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
to allow that.
To allow it to move.
To float.
What you've had is contact while it's rotating, and your oil has not been able to handle the oil pressure bleeding out of the main, because it's just a fed bearing,
Yep.
it's not a pressurized bearing. The oil feed out of the main through the thrust has not been enough to stop metal to metal contact.
Yep, agreed.
And what's happened then is it's flowed and flowed and flowed, and you've essentially overheated the journal, the bearing's
you've gone metal to
overheated,
metal then, haven't you?
and you've grabbed.
Yep. Yeah, the oil film just couldn't go.
And then the second you stop oil flow through the main, that number 4 main journal, number five main because there's 6, through number 5 main journal, you get your rods,
Yep.
which is probably why you said, it wouldn't go, and then it would go.
Yep.
And then obviously why you've ultimately had wear on the other side because you've got no oil flow through that journal.
Yeah, it's just it's closed off the oil feeds and.
And what you've done is you've welded up number 5.
Yeah.
Did you say this is a manual as well?
Yeah.
So is that a clutch issue essentially? Too much pressure?
Well, that's now what we need to experiment, because I've already got you to check your in, because we built gearbox. So the gearbox, it's like here's one I made earlier. So if you go back and think when we rebuilt Nige's, because I said to you, didn't I, check your height of your input shaft at the front of the gearbox in case something's happened and I'm pushing. I'm pushing because right. But the input shaft on an L156 does that.
Right.
So it's splined into the clutch and it's splined into the gear cassette. Right. So the input shaft can float.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not an input shaft problem. So now what you've got to go away is you're going to have to look at whether it's a clutch issue.
Yeah.
Because I know you've had some stuff with a clutch, but it was a genuine release bearing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Would it suffer from a dry start? You have to press the clutch to start it?
Yes.
Yeah, but if he starts it way less, then I've got guys daily in these things.
Yeah.
And if that was an inherent issue,
well, I'd see more.
You'd see more.
I'd see more.
Yeah.
I'd see more. Yeah, I don't like clutch to start, but yeah, we don't even see this on fully sequentials with paddle clutch, big stack 6-plate clutches and push-pull gearboxes.
There's some serious clutching on them.
Yeah. That started at metal to metal. In my opinion, it started metal to metal on a thrust, and it's grown through.
Yeah.
Because that's why you are 0.1 of a mil thinner on the thrust side, and you've got impact damage on the thrust side of the block. Because you shouldn't wear through.
Oh,
I'd take stuff this.
I've built Golf engines and thrust bearings and
Mint.
like new.
Yeah.
There's literally, because that's not even a clutch start. You don't need to put the clutch in start it. They're like new when you take them out years later.
But yeah, because I was worried, like, oh my god, I've built a gearbox. Have I put a problem into it? But that's when I was like, no, you can't, because you've
got that much.
I got
fly in there.
4 inches of spline inside that fits inside the.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
No.
Does that.
Right.
So you can grow. The shafts can grow.
You got more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a conclusion.
I have a theory.
I think we have a theory that you can back up with what we found as we've been disassembling it, with the metal that's been sprayed from the bearing.
Yeah.
And then once we've got into the guts of it, that's what it's pointed to.
Matt's engine has disintegrated a piston.
Yeah.
Absolutely missing in the bore, and the engine turns over.
Yeah.
So it's not a piston problem.
Yes.
You've got damage on 2 cylinder walls, in my opinion, based off the fact that number 5 turned into a Catherine wheel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You've got no oil or lubrication related issues on the heads, the cams, or the other bearings. They've all come apart mint. We've just got number 5 is torn to bits.
Yeah.
And excessive thrust wear on the thrust side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they yours?
No, we're just going to literally angle grind them down, mate, and then
Flap a wheel.
Yeah.
Spark plugs where you go.
Right.
There you go,
That's what he said. He's going to get 5 good rods and sell them as Daza upgrade kit.
You found the issue.
Yeah, we'll discuss it off camera. It's just, we've just gone through it now, just explained the symptoms, what we found, and the more you look into it, the more it all points back to the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. Now you've got to go away and look at bits you've got sat at home.
Yes, yes.
Right. Moral of the story. I don't know, what would the moral of the story be? Take up knitting. There we go. Take up knitting.
Cross stitching.
Yeah.
Snooker.
Yeah.
What was that?
Stay away from the ring.
Yeah, don't go to the ring.
I say we say
Don't go to the.
there, and if
Look, I'll be there as soon as I can get there. Absolutely, July. I'm
Hang
back.
on, let's go. That week, what happened? You. So Matt, Pinder, Chris from VGS's TTRS dropped the gearbox on the way.
Yeah.
His Golf, when it was there, had brake problems.
Issues, yeah.
Adam blew the gearbox up in his GTR.
Yeah. My mate Henry, he had 2 blowouts. Luke had 1 blowout. My mate Lee had a turbo issue which stripped all over his clutch. So
He's done his clutch.
For turbo and clutch.
Gary tried to climb up the back of another BM.
Yeah. It was, kind of just loads and loads of stuff. I'm just trying to think.
So basically, you've got to go to the rink 'cause it's amazing.
It's the best place in the world.
It's the best place in the world. It's why we keep going back.
If you want to spend some money,
Yeah.
that's it. All go there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Misha wrote off Ignite's Golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did.
You're running out of fingers, dude.
Yeah.
There's more, but
That's just people. That's just people I know. Like I know.
You see the M2 went on its roof as well. Was that when you were out? The one that's all over.
I think that was in TF.
Yeah, that was a week after.
That was after.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Well, it was glass half full.
It was glass half full. I'm struggling, if I'm honest. It's it's scrap.
You can always rely on coming here, mate, to cheer you up.
Yeah, thanks for that. So, we're not going to be putting this engine back together, so it's another disassembly with no reassembly video. Sorry about that.
It's all right, because I did the disassembly video on the Ferrari, and obviously it went to Donington yesterday and run for Gary, the 458 Challenge engine, and I didn't film any of it putting it back together.
Oh, brilliant, yes.
I've got photos of me putting it back together. I can send them over to you.
Yeah.
The problem is Dav doesn't work weekends. So when
What?
I'm in,
How dare he?
I know. While I'm in building engine.
Yeah, you were in Saturday with me.
I can work
Morning,
weekends.
so
If you ask me,
yeah.
I'll just.
It was all right. It was good. Yeah. It come together all right, that didn't it?
Yeah, he's happy with it.
Yeah,
He said he'd done a fair few laps with it yesterday. It was all happy. He said it was one of the quickest there, and he was going easy on it.
I know. He told me his lap time, and I was like, dude, I'm like 6 seconds faster on a 600.
He was lucky. If he hadn't have bought that for a refresh, he could have ended up like this.
Yeah. That would have.
That was caught just in the nick of time, was that engine.
What else happened?
I think that's enough.
Is it?
I don't think YouTube can take any more.
I think we need to stop there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take up another hobby. That's what we need.
We won't though, will we?
No.
We won't, we can't. It's just...
So next step.
Engines.
Bicked on eBay.
Yeah. Does anyone want a bit of Pinder's engine?
Yeah.
He's going to set up a GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Or we can have a joint fundraiser for your
I think we're going ahead with it, aren't we?
kebabs and cars.
Kebabs and cars.
So salad crew.
Kebabs and cars.
Get yourself a Dremel, make some happy faces, and
And just smell. Yeah.
sell them.
Yeah.
Raffle them off.
The Northern Warrior.
Raffle bits of both our engines off.
I'm covered in Pinder swarf. Look at me.
I think we've exhausted this.
So
Was that supposed to be a pun?
It wasn't actually, no.
Wow.
But it was.
This video's just ground to a halt.
Oh.
Lock it off.
Oh.
I need to go and sit down before I seize up. Come on, you've got to finish it now.
I just need to throw all this in the boot of the car and go home. That's
was
it.
rubbish.
I'm done. I have nothing to add.
The irony that he's taken an Audi home in a BMW.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Nightmare. BMW, reliable.
You cut what?
We better stop it because these need to get back to work. So, drops a video. Drops a video? Yeah. I don't know.
actually, that could be an idea. Send us your video.
Send us your videos. Yeah.
Those videos.
Please,
Car
please,
videos.
please do me the Fagan Top Rack Top Gun video. You got to do that.
I'm gonna get
right.
on that.
Okay. You all heard it here first.
Yeah.
Dab's doing that. We get Fagan and Top Rack to share it as well. My friends.